able to come back to the Father, you have not had a personal revelation of love. You can have some encounters, but until you have that encounter, that you have just blown it totally, and someone comes alongside of you and loves you anyway,
Yes.
you just can't understand it.
Amen.
Right.
Much of the world hates the church, which really isn't the problem, guys. The problem is much of the church hates the world.
Right, yeah.
Much of the church hates the church. I mean,
You said it.
I could stand up here and tell jokes about denominations. At some point, you're going to laugh hysterically. You know, and it's funny, whatever. But we have put labels on absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Why do we do that? You got to know what to stay away from, right? Got to put another song in my head that's totally driven this in my mind, and it's by Foreigner. And it's I Want to Know What Love Is.
Right.
Those guys don't even know that they prophetically wrote that to the world.
Right.
Listen to that song next time. It's going to mess you up. They just want to know what love is, and it's not what we've portrayed.
Yeah.
If my grace and love is unconditional, then it has to be towards everyone. Otherwise, it is only a matter of time before you screw up just big enough for me to turn on you as well. Have you ever been in a place so secure and so safe that you could tell somebody your deepest, darkest secret and they would still be there for you?
Ooh.
Most of us wouldn't be able to say that. I've experienced that with a very few amount of people. But if we're not that safe haven, if we're not able to take it, if we're so offended by everything constantly, we're never going to be able to reach these people that are in the darkest places. I mean, could you imagine it whenever you're in a place where everyone in the whole world knows how bad you are? Would you step foot in this church? I wouldn't. There's no way. I'd be hiding, I'd be running, I'd be doing as much bad stuff as I could to try to cover up the pain I'm feeling. I totally get it. I understand. Here's some questions. I hope this is hitting home. But here's some questions to ask yourself about this topic. Have I ever separated someone's failures as far as the East is from the West? Have I ever attempted to do that? That'd be hard to do. Have I ever prayed, Father, forgive them about something that was trying to destroy me? We have a desire to be like Jesus. We've desired to be a club that we spoke of.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
My club's the coolest. Come to my club. You won't believe what my pastor's teaching. It'll make your life so good. These things aren't evil, but they have nothing to do with the point.
Yes.
And I don't believe any of us buy into it. Why do so many of us grow up in church and then not want anything to do with the church? Because whether we want to be honest or not, we know we weren't created to sit in a church pew. We weren't created to live under the law. So these things will eat at us. They'll make us uncomfortable. Drive us to the point, like me, wanted nothing to do with church anymore. I loved God. I was closer to God than I'd ever been, but I certainly didn't want to be in church.
Yeah.
And people can sit there and debate all these reasons, you're wrong for this or that, but that's the place I came to, and I believe legitimately it drove me out of the religious nonsense that I believed for so long. I look back, I have friends that, I started a Bible club in my high school. I thought that I had to do that to make God happy, and I was on every worship team that I had a chance to be on. And, at the time, I got so many accolades for that, and I look back now and I'm totally devastated. Not only did I miss opportunities, but I totally drove people the wrong direction. And some of those people to this day, I don't have a voice in their life anymore.
Come on.
Some of them, I promise you, will look the other way when I'm coming, because in high school, hey, if you're out partying, God's going to get you.
Yep.
And I thought that was the most loving message I could possibly be teaching. Good Lord. What's so crazy now is I just go to lunch with people, or I just stop by a job site and say, hey, it looks great, doing a good job. That's made way more connections and
That's right.
been a greater influence on people than anything that I ever preached at them. Stan, my Papa Stan is here. He's been my spiritual father for really going on about 10 years now. He used an example. Sorry to the Revolution people that have already heard this, but he said that an acorn, everything an acorn will ever be is contained inside of it. When given the right environment, it becomes all it was created to be. So simple, but another thing that you've said is, somebody said, is you can count the seeds in an apple, but you can't count the apples in the seed.
Yes.
Another cool one, but all of us are this incredible being, this incredible creation that was meant to become something. What happens if you take an acorn and you smash it with a hammer? Nothing. That's it. It's end of its life. It's end of the story. Right? What happens if you take an acorn and you protect it by putting it up on a shelf? Nothing. Right? But what if you put an acorn out in the elements? You put it out where it was created to be. You give it some water, you give it some nutrients, put it down in the soil. All of a sudden it starts to grow. And once it starts to grow, it kind of takes care of itself, right? That's all people are looking for. They're looking for you to be in an environment that they can survive. Are they coming to you and getting smashed? Or are they coming to you and developing into something? By the way, Stan, God's not done with you at all.
Amen.
By a long shot. Let's become a people that sees what individuals were created to be while looking past their failures.
Come on. Come on.
Let's learn that hurt is inevitable, but forgiveness is always a choice.
All right.
Let's refuse to let fear dictate our lives. And most of all, let's remember that without love, we have nothing. That's all I got.